Good morning, everybody. Good day, everyone that's tuning in either live or if you're listening, watching, whatever, welcome. Welcome to our Let's Talk series. I keep showing my little sign that I made, my Let's Talk. Now, I'd love if anyone can do any mirror work, and I would love to learn how to have this so that you can see it and mirrored vision so that it's not backwards to the viewer. So if anybody, I'm just putting that out there, anybody that knows that, please contact me and PM me. So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to first by introducing our first guest this morning, who her name is Gwen. Can you help me out with your last name? Because I don't want to butcher it, please. So good morning, Gwen, and let's just start off by introducing yourself.
Hey, Lenore, I'm so glad to be here with you this morning. This is Gwen Valletic Morrison.
Ooh, Gwen Valletic Morrison. Okay, I would have said that wrong. So thank you so much. I appreciate you being here.
Like a Valentine with a Tic Tac. It's easy.
Oh, hey, that is an awesome word association. Fill the love and put it in your mouth, right?
Calorie free, right?
Goodness, in a little person. I love it. So good morning, everyone. My name is Lenora Collins. I am founder of Inspire Love, Empower Each Other. This is a part of our Let's Talk series that I'm hosting, and I've got some wonderful guests lined up for you today. And as you've briefly met, Miss Gwen Valletic Morrison. She is a girlfriend of mine. She's near and dear to my heart, and I would love just give everyone, the listeners at home or viewers, just a little bit more about you, Gwen. Can you share with us who you are and what you do?
Oh my gosh. It's kind of a loaded question, hey? I do lots. I wear many hats. Professionally, I'm a registered massage therapist. I'm also a Reiki master and teacher. And I'm a little bit crafty. I like to dabble with things. And so lately, my newest excursion has been making different balms for pain and arthritis. Make a great mosquito balm, and so come winter there'll be other recipes, so that's been a whole lot of fun. Being so crafty, I also make people, and I've got two beautiful kids. My son is almost 11 and my daughter just turned 8.
Aww.
Happily married, living in this gorgeous small town of Didsbury. I am so in love with Alberta, and yeah, in a nutshell, I guess.
Awesome. So I'll just dive right in. So if you could start a conversation today about anything, what would you choose to start your conversation about?
I don't know.
What would you like to talk about? Like, what do you love to talk about?
Oh, I suppose all things spiritual. I don't know. I'm a pretty big talker about everything. I think I've got a bit of an opinion about just about everything. So
specifically though, to narrow it down, I know you're very easy, just not sleazy. Just for her husband.
Oh, shucks. You caught me.
You're a good, wholesome woman. God love you.
Oh, yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. But seriously, though, if you could start a conversation, and I'll give you maybe a topic, because let's talk about Abraham Hicks. Like, is that something you like to talk about? Because I know you're my very first, other than Abraham, when I think to go to that, you're my very first person that I think of when I think about Abraham Hicks and their teachings. And I just believe in that so much. And that's something that you have a wealth of information, knowledge. You live it, breathe it, and you are just a living example of those teachings and practices. So could you tell us a bit more about that? Or if the listeners, if they're unfamiliar with Abraham, can you tell us a bit about that?
I can, for sure. And I think when you get down to the kernel of it, really what we'd be talking about then is the law of attraction. And so the Abraham Hicks teachings are there to just teach us what the law of attraction is, how we can use it better, how we've been doing it wrong. And then it's always at work in our life. And I am glad that you picked that one, because it's so interesting how much a part of my life it is, and that I'm always giving proof. As soon as I bring myself back into that place of alignment if I haven't been there for a while, the proof comes immediately. So the law of attraction is basically whatever you focus on grows. And the universe, source, the I am, God, whatever you want to call it, there is no good or bad. Those are labels that we put on things. What's good for you might be bad for another, and what's good for them might be bad for you. So the universe doesn't make that judgment. It's up to us to decide where we want to put our attention. When we are staring something down that we don't want and shouting no at it, we are focusing all of our attention on it, and the law of attraction has to respond by providing more of it. So to slow that momentum down and bring really what you do want is to shift your attention. And sometimes you can shift to exactly what you want, which might be the opposite of what it is that you don't want. But sometimes there's too much momentum going in the direction you don't want. And so it's easier just to completely shift gears and focus on something totally unrelated, just to slow that other momentum down. And then when you're in a better feeling place, you can build momentum where you want to go.
Awesome.
So,
awesome. You nailed it. You nailed it. So
it's yeah.
This is something that, knowing you, Gwen, I know you live it, breathe it, eat it, sleep it. You're a leading example of this and better, this and better. And what that means is Gwen can take a situation and it could be the negative and worst situation, but she has the ability to help you get inside of yourself and to say, hey, no, this is not what I want. So what do I want? Because I don't want to attract. And the law of attraction doesn't know right or wrong per se. Like you said, we put that on that as humans, but it just gives you more of what you're vibing, right? Like more of what you're attracting. So when you know what you don't want, you get what you do want, if that makes sense. And I know it's very confusing when you're first starting out, but could you help me be more articulate as to, for the viewers and listeners at home, so that they can have a better understanding of that?
Certainly. So when you're in a place of experiencing something that you don't want, Abraham, and in a little bit I'll explain sort of what they are. That might be a little bit out there for people, so we'll sort of ease them in, I think, maybe.
Awesome.
So when we're in that place of experiencing what we don't want, Abraham calls that contrast. It's not good or bad, and when you learn to really love the contrast, then you really know you're there. But for the sake of where we are, we call that contrast. And it's from that place of contrast, of experiencing what we don't want, that you so clearly get to figure out what it is that you do want. And if everything is perfect and comfortable all the time, there's no need to want anything different or better. So we need those periods of contrast. Does it mean we need to wallow in it for the rest of the day or the week or the month or the rest of our lives? Absolutely not. If you want to, go ahead, but there's a whole easier way of living. So when we're in that place of contrast, when you can clearly define what it is, okay, I don't want that, I want this instead, and then you begin to just put your sights on what it is that you do want. Now, the trick here is to frame your thoughts and your words in the present or the past, not in future tense. So instead of saying, I would like to have X, Y, and Z, you would say, I love having X, Y, and Z, or I love that the universe brought me X, Y, and Z, regardless of whether you have it in your life or not. It doesn't matter. When your words are, and your thoughts and your intentions are framed in the future, you're still in that place of not having it, and you're sending out the vibration to the universe of lack, of not having it. And so through the law of attraction, if it's picking up that you're experiencing lack and you're broadcasting and echoing, I don't have it, I don't have it, I don't have it, the universe says, look how much they love not having it. Let's make sure they don't ever get it. So when you frame it as, you know, oh, I love having a job where I feel supported and appreciated, and I love being in a place where I'm valued, even if your work life is terrible, the law of attraction says, oh, look how much she loves being appreciated and valued. And so the universe will orchestrate and bring in the cooperative elements to allow you to experience that feeling that you're broadcasting. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. And thank you so much, because people, I believe, they think, well, what do you mean by that? And you have just eloquently explained it, where there's no wrong or right, but it's by what you do and what you say that you're bringing it. And thank you for also letting us know, and for the viewers and for the listeners at home, that it's all, your words are so important. What you speak is what you get. And everyone, a lot, well, I don't want to assume, because we all know what happens when we assume, right? And I don't want to make an ass out of myself. I do that on my own well enough without assuming. But it really brings about clarity, where our words, everyone is aware, or you've heard of the secret, and you're familiar with some sort of the secret and the law of attraction, and being in the vortex, and being, being really passionate, and being just yourself. And by doing that, you're able to bring experiences and bring things to you that the universe is saying, oh, let's give her more of this. So this and better is one of my very favorite things. And I can literally hear Gwen's voice in my head when I start feeling kind of down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. Well, instead of saying, because see, by me saying I'm so overwhelmed, the universe hears that and thinks, okay, overwhelm her. She loves it. So I say this and better, this and better, this and better. Yeah. And it changes how I feel.
Right. So it's this or better is manifesting for me now, right? So you would sort of say a little wish, and then this or better is manifesting for me now. And you just let it go the way you would blow a bubble and let it go, not looking to catch it or anything. Right?
Awesome. Sure. Awesome. And I just could picture somebody blowing bubbles, like kids blowing bubbles, and they just let them go.
That's right.
Your little bubbles of desires, right? And then they don't get popped. And when they do get popped, they are popped because they're sent out without the intention. There's nothing attached to them. So they're able to naturally pop themselves with the environment or whatnot. And you just get more of the bubbles that you're sending out there. So thank you for that, because you've made it very clear. I appreciate that. Oh, hi, Sheila. You're not on till 11, honey. Hang on. I'm going to pause our one. Hello. Okay, everyone. So I was talking about being overwhelmed, and that feeling and sense of like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I get so overwhelmed, and I'm sending that out into the universe. And so then the universe gives me more overwhelm. How would I deal with that, Gwen, when I'm feeling that way?
So the universe responds, we did talk about words are very important, but the universe responds more to your emotional state than it does to the words that you're sending. So if your words don't match your emotional state, and you're really trying to force sort of positive statements, and it's not where your heart is, the universe is going to respond to your heart. So, and then what that means too is our emotional state will flavor whatever project we're working on, or whatever we're doing. So when you're in a place of feeling really overwhelmed, and then you also so that's your emotional state, is overwhelmed, but your desire is probably asking for a break, or for a rest, or for things to slow down, or whatever it might be. So the universe will then bring you that break, but it's going to be flavored from that place of frustration and overwhelm. And so where I see this a lot is people will get to that place and they receive their break, but it'll be in the form of a sickness or an illness or an injury. Okay? Whereas other people who might be feeling overwhelmed, but then are able to still stay in a place of gratitude. Wow, there's a lot going on, but this is amazing that I get to do all of this, and I'm excited for this opportunity and for this challenge, and I know I'll get through, but universe, if you can slow it down just a wee bit, that would be fantastic, but if I need to be helping all these people right now, then I know I'm game and I'll get my break eventually. Then people win vacations and they get their break that way. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So it's like people who say, I hate being sick. I hate being sick. I hate being sick. But then they're always sick or they say, I don't want to be sick. The universe doesn't hear the word don't. and not. So it just hears, oh, they love being sick. So instead, a different way to say that would be, I enjoy being healthy. So I hate being sick and I enjoy being healthy. They both mean the same thing, but carry such different vibrational energy. And this is where the words become important. And it's like saying, I'm broke all the time. It's very final. And the universe says, oh, they love not having any money. Let's make sure they stay in that place. So to flip it instead would be, I'm in between funds. They both mean you have no money right now, but I'm in between funds allows the possibility, and it allows trust that money is flowing into your experience. And so then that brings me to resistance that we might be putting out into our experience. And resistance, it's just, I want to do this, but I want to have that, but I would like to have this in my life, but every time we introduce a but, that's introducing resistance. And so what that means is that it slows and stops that flow of well-being and all of the things you truly desire to you. And then it means more of the stuff that you didn't really want can start flowing in, right?
Awesome.
So Abraham Hicks, so Esther Hicks is a woman who channels a group of beings that collectively call themselves Abraham. And their sole purpose is to help us understand the law of attraction, how we're doing it wrong. And whether you buy into that or not, it really doesn't matter. And whether you buy into the idea of the law of attraction or not, it doesn't matter, because it's always working whether you're conscious of it or not. So it's actually a whole lot more fun to be conscious of it and to play with it. And then you can keep yourself in that truly positive, grateful frame of mind. So what she talks about is 68 seconds of pure thought. And what pure thought means is getting into the feeling, the emotional state of already having what you want, because we only want things to feel better. We want things to feel good. We want things in our life because we think we're going to feel better in having them. So for most of the time, it's true. There's lots of things we bring in that are super fun or make us feel full of joy and love. So you talk about what it is that you want from the place of already having it, so that you start to build that joy and that love and that excitement of having it. And if you can do that for 17 seconds, it's the equivalent of doing 200 hours of actual physical effort to get what you want.
Oh,
and
wow.
if you can go another 17 seconds, it's the equivalent of doing 1,000 hours of actual physical effort to get what you want. And if you go another 17 seconds, it's the equivalent of 20,000 hours of actual effort to get what you want. And if you can go 68 seconds of pure thought, and you'll know you're there because you won't be able to stop smiling. That's how you know you're there. Then it's the equivalent of doing 200,000 hours of actual physical effort to get what you want. It's not to stop any of the action stuff, but it's to do this vibrational work first so that you can tune into the inspired action and follow that.
Oh, I love that.
We sold our house in Surrey for tens of thousands of dollars more than our realtor wanted us to list at. And I love telling this story because it's huge. So when we decided to move to Alberta, it was sort of February, March, and I was feeling really good about that decision. We were coming from the coast. I was tired of the rain. I was ready for something new. And a client and friend of mine who does access consciousness, which is like law of attraction on steroids, and I highly recommend it for anybody. She says, how are you feeling about moving to Alberta? And I said, I'm feeling really, really good. But I'm not super keen on keeping the house clean for showings. My kids were 2 and 5, and that's just not a whole lot of fun. And she goes, what if it sells on the first show? And so I laughed and I said, how does it get better than this? That's an access consciousness statement, because it had never occurred to me that that could ever be a possibility. Who sells on the first show? But I laughed. I said, how does it get better than this? And I let it go. And then for the next 3 months, because we were waiting to list, for the next 3 months, at least 2 or 3 times a day, I did 68 seconds of pure thought for all kinds of topics surrounding selling the house. I did 68 seconds of pure thought for the neighbors that we were going to bring in that would have kids that would be the same age to play with the friends that our kids were leaving, and they would be good neighbors for the neighbors we were leaving, and they would love the house as much as we did. And I did 68 seconds of the new neighbors we were going to be coming to, who would be able to help us with everything that we didn't know moving to a new province, and what the house was going to feel like. So I didn't get hung up on the specifics of what it was going to look like, but I said, I love that we were able to find a house that has this amazing flow and there's enough space for everybody. And I love that we're all so connected within this space and we're just surrounded by beauty. And that's exactly the house that we ended up finding. So 2 or 3 times a day, I did 68 seconds of pure thought of this. And then, so you just do it for the fun of it and you let it go. Because if you do that 68 seconds and then you end it with, oh yeah, but that'll never happen. That's you popping your bubble, right? And so it's done. So you make your bubble, let it float away. Don't even watch it float away. So we list our house. Our realtor wants us to list low. I said, I've got plans for this money. I know what we want to list at. It was a bit of a fight to get him to list as high as I wanted. He wanted us to go at 675. I said, if I list at 675, that's all I'm going to get. I need a little bit more. This was in Surrey. It was a ridiculously big house. So we listed at 690. And then, so that was a Tuesday. He said, okay, we'll come and do pictures on Thursday. I said, perfect. I've got 2 days to clean the house. And normally I'm really flustered and sort of panicked trying to get it done. And so I stopped myself. I said, this is ridiculous. Whatever I put into this is what it's going to be flavored with at the end. So I stopped. I channeled Reiki. I asked for Reiki to be infused in everything that I looked at and everything my hands laid upon. And for everyone to come to the house to receive a full Reiki session. And I cleaned my entire house, every cupboard, every drawer, everything. And it never once felt like work. And it would take me 8 hours to clean my kitchen sometimes because I didn't want to do it. So house is clean. They come and they do the pictures. I get a phone call that night. Oh, I should know better than to fight with you Valletic women, because he's been our family realtor for like 40 years. And I said, oh, he goes, yeah. I said, oh, the pictures have gone live already? He goes, no, they found the pictures from when you guys bought 2 years ago. And he goes, and it's weird. They're just like you guys. They're a young couple. They've looked at everything. Nothing was right. They've got little kids. And as soon as your listing went live, they want to come see it. I said, perfect. Have them come tomorrow. The house is clean.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm getting shivers. I wish that you
I know, right? It gets even better.
Seriously getting shivers.
So check this out. So they come for the showing. They stay 45 minutes. That's always a good sign. I get a phone call later. I should know better than to fight with you Valletic women. I say, oh, we have an offer. You want to tell me or you want to wait for Scotty? Let's wait for Scotty. Oh, it's a good one. Perfect. So he comes that evening. They came in at 675. And I woke up that morning. I said, we're going to get 680 for this house. So they came in at 675, and remember, this was like the upper limit of what he wanted us to list at, right?
Right.
So we countered 680, they took it. So 2 weeks later, when all the conditions were finished, I get another call from my realtor. He goes, Gwen, I didn't want to say anything earlier because I didn't want to jinx it. And I said, what? He goes, well, it's just weird. After that first phone call, there was no other phone calls. There were no looky-loos, no nosy neighbors, nothing. And I start laughing because I remember. He goes, what's so funny? I said, what's better than selling on the first show? He goes, what? I said, no other showings.
Oh,
so
girlfriend.
if you stood on a street corner and said, do you want to buy this house? 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 How many people would you have to go through to find that one buyer? And it was a fight for the listing price, because I said, you know, you got to get on board here. I'm not marketing to the masses here. There's one buyer for this house and I'm going to bring them in. And I did. So whether you are able to manifest parking spaces or stuff like this, let go of the idea of big and little. It's all the same. The only big or little is the amount of resistance that you put into something. That's all.
So it's becoming aware of our resistance.
I hate
becoming aware.
You.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
So it works in my life all the time. I see angel numbers in parking spots, and I see happy faces. That's how God talks to me. I see happy faces everywhere, and some people see hearts everywhere, whatever it might be. So you know you're there because you feel good. And so always look for the better feeling thoughts. And sometimes that thought is as simple as, well, it's not forever.
And that is an awesome point. It's not forever, because a lot of people may be listening and or watching and think, yeah, well, that's great that happened to you, but I can't have that. Well, I'm here to tell you, yes, you can, right? Yes, and Gwen absolutely. Is here to tell you, yes, you can. You just need to be more aware and slow down. Just slow down.
It takes practice. When I first started with Abraham Hicks' work, and I started her because it's easy and I like her voice, and she offers so many of these better feeling statements to walk you through. And so when I first started, 7 years ago, I guess, I would listen to videos all through the day. If I had 5 minutes, I'd find a 5-minute video. And if I had 20 minutes, I'd find a 20-minute video, just to get the phrasing down, so that when I was in a place of doubt or worry or frustration or anger or whatever it might be, then I I had these statements at the ready to sort of bring myself back out to a better feeling place. And so I would highly recommend, it takes practice, like everything, right? Like everything, it just takes practice. Now, if you say I can't do that, well, then you're right. And if you say you can do that, you're right. It really all is up to you. And sometimes, well, here's another little statement. So going back to level of bringing in resistance, I want this but, or I want to go there but. So instead of saying that but I can't have, for whatever it is, I want this, and I wonder how the universe is going to manifest that for me. I want this, and I wonder what the next logical step will be to get there. I want this, and I wonder who I'm going to rendezvous with today to give me that next bit of information. So leave it open. How special are you that you think everything has to be on you? You have this huge team at the ready that wants to help you and bring you everything that your heart desires. And it's you putting a kink in the hose of that flow of well-being, and only you can let it go. And so that letting it go, people say, how do I let go? Well, how do you let go of a balloon? You just do. You just, I accept things as they are, and I wonder how the universe is going to bring some magic into my life today.
Awesome. I always enjoy talking to you because you get me going. You really excite me. And it's something that, like, you've given me shivers about 3 times today, just in the first, like 15 minutes of our call. Don't tell Paul, everyone. Shh. No, I'm just kidding.
God bumps. I call them God bumps.
You God bumps. Yeah. Oh, I'm just so in tune, and I'm going to remove the word but, because when I'm listening to you, I hear, I want this, but, well, I want this. And I wrote it down. I wonder, instead of saying but, I'm going to change my but word to I wonder. So instead of saying, I want to have a great day today, but I know it's going to be filled with miserable people, I want to have a great day today. I wonder what wonderful people.
So I'm gonna stop you right there, because that
Okay.
I want to is future tense. So you begin your day by saying, thank you for this incredible day.
Okay.
Like you already have it. Right?
Yes. No, and please school me, girl. I'm ready, willing, and able.
And if you really want to take it that step further, then you begin with that gratitude as you fall asleep. Thank you for the incredible day that I will experience tomorrow. So that you're in that place, because whatever vibration you go to sleep with typically is what you wake up with. And I think we've all experienced that, right? When you go to bed and you're sort of stressed, you don't have a very good sleep, and you kind of wake up in that same place. So if you can go to bed, even if it's something you're worried about the next day, then don't think about that. Instead, go to bed in a place of appreciation for anything. Oh, thank you for allowing me this incredibly lovely, comfortable bed. And I love that I have this pillow. And oh, I'm so glad I got those blackout curtains, because my room is just beautiful. Like, so it doesn't even have to have anything to do with the next day. Oh, I'm so glad I bought these sheets. Oh, and I found them on sale, and what a great day that was. And oh, so you put yourself into any positive frame of reference, and you build that, get it so clear, relive that experience so that your heart is just full, and that's how you'll wake up the next day.
Awesome.
So I just a lot of Mom, don't have this. No, and so instead it bothers them, but they laugh about it still. I'll say, oh, I wonder how the universe is going to manifest that for you. Because who am I to tell them no? Somebody might give them as a gift. They could win a contest. There's a million ways that they can receive what it is that they're asking for. But us, with human nature, we think that we have to figure out the how, and we don't. You have to figure out the what, and just leave the how to the universe, because they're going to figure it out better and easier than you ever could.
Awesome. That's really good advice, and I appreciate that. It's just been so fun. I've got a lot of homework to do now myself, just going back into this and delving in, and I'm going to start making little statement cards to put up around, because I've had them in my mind. And now, last night, for example, when I went to bed thinking, okay, please show me tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the beautiful day I'm going to have with all my callers. I knew I had an extremely busy day today with all my callers for my Let's Talk series. I said, please, I'm so thankful to be snuggled into my pillow and to rest my brain and rest my voice, so that tomorrow morning when I'm up and able to greet these beautiful people, that I'm able to give them myself. And I woke up this morning and it was like I jumped out of bed. Like I literally like was like, oh, good morning. I'm ready to go. And, so it does work, everyone. It really does.
It does.
Gwen, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us here this morning and explain with us about Abraham and Esther and Jerry Hicks and all of that, Jazza Maroney. And how can people, if the listeners, viewers, how can they get in touch with you?
You can find me easily on Facebook, my personal or my massage therapy page. It really doesn't matter. I'm the same person either way.
Awesome.
My website is ascensionheals.com, ASCENSIONHEALS.com. And, or email rmtgwen@gmail.com. So however, or drop a line to Lenore and she'll put you in touch with me, I guess, eh?
Absolutely, I will. I'd be more than happy to. And I'd like to tell everyone, my family has experienced the healing nature of Gwen, not only through her RMT massage skills, but also she's done Reiki on myself as well as my son. And the benefits that she was able to just change his mindset and help him to see things from a different perspective has been amazing. So I give 100% guarantee that she will change your world. She will rock it and she will change it, and you have to be ready because she's a feisty little thing that, like, you know what, she's lives her truth, and you live and lead by example. And I'm so blessed to have you in my world. And thank you very much again for taking the time out today of your busy schedule to chit chat with us listeners and viewers about Let's Talk. And today's episode has been brought to you by Abraham Hicks, I believe, and it's been channeled through us. So I just appreciate that so, so much.
Oh, lots of love, darling.
Okay, well, enjoy your day, my girl, and go out and manifest some more homes.
Make a wonderful day.
You too. Okay, love ya. Mwah. Ciao for now. Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.